Good afternoon. Well, I've actually interrupted my own video. I just prepared a sort of 10-part general roundup video on stories that you may or may not have seen and things that have landed in my inbox. But then on Facebook, this just popped up. This is GB News. Drivers see move towards nationwide 20-mile-an-hour speed limits. 20-mile-an-hour speed limits get closer as talks of a 2025 rollout begin. Interestingly, this was published yesterday at 27 minutes past 10 in the morning. What journalists for GB News are working on a Sunday and publishing quite inflammatory articles? Let's take a quick look. Scotland to follow Wales in looking to mandate 20-mile-an-hour speed limits. So this is all Scotland. Drivers in Scotland could see mandatory 20-mile-an-hour speed limits rolled out across the nation in a bid to crack down on dangerous travel. That's where my ears pricked up, really. It's not dangerous driving. This is dangerous travel. If you understand where this sort of nefarious agenda comes from, and if you are a conspiracy theorist that believes that what they want to do is stop us from moving around, this is no longer about dangerous driving, is it? We're now talking about dangerous travel. And we've seen this before, haven't we? Unnecessary journeys, unnecessary travel. So we're no longer talking about you going out in your car. We're now moving the narrative onto you going out at all, okay? So dangerous travel. Notwithstanding the fact that the Wales thing has pretty much been widely debunked now. The 20-mile-an-hour experiment in Wales has been a huge failure. I'll do a video on this to put all the data, within its proper context, but basically introducing 20 mile an hour to Wales cost more money, cost more time, and did not decrease crashes and accidents at all. It's done the exact opposite of what it's been claimed to do so, but Scotland have looked at that example and said, yep, that's exactly what we need to do. Let's go look at the article then. The move launched by the Scottish Greens Transport spokesperson Mark Ruskell, MSP, comes as reports found that lower speeds would save lives. Lower speeds would save lives. Save lives. Protect yourselves and others. Look after yourself and others. Stay at home. Save lives. We know that the government are very interested in saving lives, unless that is they are forced to look at the current numbers of people that are actually dying, especially those that are young and especially those that are dying suddenly. But no, we want to slow the nation down to save lives. No, it's not to save lives. It's to, what was the word? Unnecessary, dangerous travel. We're going to save lives by stopping dangerous travel. In 2018, Ruskell brought forward a members' bill to replace the current 30 mile an hour default speed limit on restricted roads with a 20 mile an hour limit. Now, this Ruskell chap, okay, this is a theory here, somebody must be leaning on him to get him to go forward with that members' bill, because you don't just come up with that off your own back, do you? You don't just wake up one morning and go, do you know what I need to do? I need to slow down the entire nation. Somebody must have got to him and told him to do that. Well, that's my theory anyway, because as I said, looking at the example as to what's gone on in Wales, no sane person would try to introduce a blanket 20 mile an hour speed limit. It doesn't work. It's extremely hard to keep your car at 20 mile an hour. And as I've said in many videos before, I don't have a problem with lowering the speed limits outside schools. Outside of school, knock yourself out. Honestly, do what you want. Speed bumps, 20 mile an hour speed limits, one-way systems, bollards. We need all of it because, my eldest, has just started secondary school and it's absolute carnage at school kick-out time. And the disrespect that the drivers have for children is astonishing. So I'm all for lowered speed limits and everything you need to do to stop kids being hit by cars at school kick-out time. But a blanket 20 mile an hour speed limit across the whole nation, totally unnecessary. The Butte House agreement between the Scottish Greens and the Scottish Government included a commitment to expand 20 mile an hour in Scotland, with an agreement that all appropriate roads in built-up areas will have a safer speed limit of 20 mile an hour by 2025. So that is the proposal. Interesting that it says all appropriate roads in built-up areas will have a safer speed limit. Now, is there any research to back up the fact that that word gets to be included in there? There has to be some science and some data behind them saying that 20 mile an hour is safer. As we saw in Wales, part of the consultation to get the 20 mile an hour speed limit in was done by hanging out outside schools and asking parents who don't drive if they'd rather their child was hit at 30 mile an hour or 20 mile an hour. Genuinely, that is how the research was done as to whether or not to roll out a blanket 20 mile an hour speed limit across the entire nation of Wales. That's exactly how they did it. Same thing is going on here. Russ said, lower speed limits save lives. Again, it's something that he's not quantifying. He's not telling us anything about the science or the data behind that statement. By rolling out a 20 mile per hour default across Scotland, we can decrease road deaths and create safer streets and communities. Safer streets and communities for Scotland by slowing everybody down. Nothing to do with the fact that so many cities in Scotland are so deprived. It's such a poor part of the country, and people are depressed there because it rains all the time. Although that is all of England at the moment. We haven't seen any blue sky for at least 3 days now. But that's a story for another day. We've seen the success of the 20 mile an hour limits have had. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the bit. Look, we have seen the success that 20 mile an hour limits have had in Wales. Amazing. He's looked at Wales and gone, yep, that's a success, where they've had to cancel buses because the buses can no longer make their allocated number of stops in the correct amount of time because the routes are now going too slow. But no, that is success according to this chap. Cutting speeds and reducing road fatalities. And I want the same thing happening here in Scotland. Excellent, absolutely excellent. We've looked at Wales and the disaster that has been, and we've said, yep, that is a fantastic use of money in the in this foul year of our Lord 2025, to quote Fear and Loathing. I'm glad that the Scottish Government is consulting on this because it's a long overdue change. He added, we should all have the right to feel safe. We should all have the right to feel safe and effective. Protect yourselves and others. Stay home. Save lives. We should all have the right to feel safe. And this is a simple change that would help to transform our neighbourhoods and make people feel more confident when walking, wheeling and cycling. Dangerous travel, don't forget. How long before you're walking, wheeling and cycle is deemed dangerous travel? There's been important progress in some parts of our country, but we can't let road safety become a postcode lottery. National limits are the most effective way of saving lives. Once again, we're talking about saving lives. Let's do it again. Protect yourself and others. 100% effective, safe and effective. Wash your hands. The MSP hopes that Scotland will introduce similar widespread 20 mile an hour limits like the ones currently operating in Wales. Over the last 11 months, data from the Welsh Government has found that the drop from 30 miles an hour to 20 mile an hour on residential roads has helped save lives. That's just a non-statement, isn't it? Data from the Welsh Government has found the drop from 30 to 20 on residential roads has helped save lives. Nice and vague. The number of cases where people have been killed or seriously injured on roads in Wales fell to 78 in the first 3 months of 2024 compared to 101 recorded in the first 3 months of 2023. So they're basically quoting that because 20 people were seriously injured or killed less, that means that putting in a blanket speed limit is a massive success. Bizarre. The Green MSP had previously tried to introduce lower speed limits in 2019, but failed to garner the support needed from fellow Holyrood MPs. During that time, Transport Secretary Michael Matheson stated that councils would be best placed to use their local knowledge to decide where 20 mile an hour limits should be brought in rather than through legislation. But now, as reports revealed road casualties in Scotland have increased, Holyrood has been forced to reconsider. I feel like we should stop, I'm not going to say it, but I feel like we should stop importing people to the country that have low levels of IQ and run out No, you can't say anything like that, can you, about importing people into the country? Because it stands to reason that if you are going to increase your population with people that aren't familiar with the local area, then it's likely that road accidents are going to go up purely on the fact that people are now in an unfamiliar environment. But you can't say anything about that. Let's finish the article. Russ marked, we need to learn from the air experience and replicate its success across Scotland. This is the success of Wales. Fundamentally, it's about safety, protect yourselves and others, and making our neighbourhoods more welcoming and accessible for all. And I assume he means especially if you're from Somalia. We have already made really important progress across parts of the country, with life-saving 20-mile-an-hour defaults becoming more and more common, and it's crucial that the Scottish Government supports councils to finish the job as soon as possible. So there we go. Scotland is headed to a 20-mile-an-hour blanket speed limit to save lives, to protect yourself and others, and to crack down on dangerous travel. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, my roundup video is coming up next. Thanks for watching.